Hey guys, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How you doing? Well, I finally edited together some pieces from a trip last week. Tried a new lake out, and it was really a good day. Never been to this lake before. Here I am just starting off and just throwing a chatterbait around. That was the first fish of the day. 12, 13-inch largie. But, still, trying to figure the place out. Hadn't been there before. And I usually start with a search bait, like a spinner bait or a chatterbait. I did throw the horny toad and some of the shallow. It's a shallow by the ramp. But I started throwing the chatterbait around once it got to a little deeper, and caught that guy there. And then I kept throwing it. And this is kind of like a little corner to the right of the ramp. And this kind of clued me in that there's some decent sized fish in this lake. So this is a good one here, and that's on that jackhammer, half-ounce jackhammer, and it was a good one. It was a good one. Gave me hope that the new lake was going to have some good fish in it. Now the camera was a little kind of not where I wanted it right here. I was a little and I realized I was like, oh, of course. Then I put it over, and then the glare of the sun gets right on it, but at least it's kind of facing towards where a fish might jump. Not that the fish always cooperate and jump where you want them to, or bite on what side of the boat you want them to. I guess if I had 3 or 4 cameras, you'd never miss an angle, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But this is a nice one. Nice chunk, as you guys can see. I know that glare there is kind of gets in the way a little bit, but that's a nice chunk. And I hold them close to the camera so it looks even bigger, but that was a good 3+ pound fish. So as I said, that gave me hope that there was some good fish in here. So that was fish number 2 of the day. And as I went up the shoreline, there's not a lot of houses around the lake. There's I guess this is a camp type area. They had a little swim area there, big dock section. So I flipped the other side, nothing. Then I came over here and got this little guy on the jig. I'm just throwing that half-ounce queen tackle tungsten jig, that Power Team Lures trailer. And I was just flipping it along the side there. And caught this little 12, 13-incher largie on the jig. So at this point, I've got a couple on the chatterbait, one on the jig. You see that jig there? I think that's that blue crawl color. That Power Team Crawl hors d'oeuvre trailer. So I think that was the 3rd fish of the day. And then there's like this little tiny dock right, a little bit further up the lake from it. So I flipped by that, kind of where the 2 parts there kind of connect. Flipped up there, and just another little guy. But you know what? New lake, I'm catching fish. They're not all monsters, but okay, so I'm getting bit. And it had been cold, the night before, so it was a little chilly in the morning. So I can see I have my sweatshirt on, so the day does become, does get nicer, but it was a little chilly in the morning. Water was still, 70 degrees. It's going to take a while for the water to start cooling down. I pulled off the bank, and I started throwing that Ned tube around, because this lake supposedly did have smallmouth in it. And on that Ned tube, and I've just got that Wicked Weights Ned head. I think it's 1/5 of an ounce, and that Strike King Ned tube, that KVD kick color. And I just started dragging it around, and I catch a smallie. Not a monster. There may be some decent smallies in the lake. I don't know. As I said, this is only the first time I fished it, but they're definitely in there. I caught one. He's only a 12-incher, but at least I know they're in there. So I can see, and the lake does have a lot of rock, around the shoreline and stuff. So I can see maybe in the springtime it might be a good jerkbait spot, to get some jerkbait fish. So in the back of the lake there was some pads. So you guys know I've been throwing that horny toad around a lot lately and doing well. And this whole back was full of pads, but I did get this one nice one on the frog. I did have a couple of other small blow-ups, nothing spectacular, but this was the only one that really hit it. So it's coming up right there. So that nice chunk. And it's what I like about the horny toad, man, when they hit that, they really whack it. That's just that, I believe, that watermelon crawl color I've been throwing a lot. course, the fish is bouncing all around where the camera is, so that's why the camera is shaking there. But it was a nice, nice largie, nice surprise. The pads all look great, so I was hoping to get some action back there. I think if it was a sunnier day, as you can see, it's overcast, so it was a cold night before, and I know when the nights start to get cold, the frog bite seems to kind of slow down. But this is a nice, nice chunky largemouth, nice 3-pound range fish. You see that horny toad there? So that was my one frog fish of the day. And then I just started, kind of doing some different things. There was a lot of, bottom structure offshore, like, scattered rocks, scattered weeds. And I had the robo worm. I believe this is the drop shot fish. I just started throwing the robo worm, that 4.5-inch robo worm around. And I thought I was hung up. And all of a sudden, it was pulling back. So, okay, I'm not hung up. And this is one of the better fish of the day. This is my other. I had 2 drop shot setups with me, one with a flat worm and one with this robo worm. Because robo worm really was the ticket. Was really the ticket for the day, as you guys will see as this video goes on. But that robo worm drop shot here is a really nice fish. Kind of took me by surprise. And remember, this is a new lake to me, so I have not fished it before till today. But this is a nice one. I will definitely be going back to this lake. This was fun. Not a huge lake, 120, 130 acres, I think it's listed as. But this was a nice fish. And of course, I have a complete mess there. Here I am trying to get my phone out because I want to take a picture of the fish. When you get a drop shot in the net, then it gets wrapped around a little bit. But this is a nice one. Nice chunky largemouth. You can see that robo worm there. But nice bass. I wish I framed them in the camera better, but that was a nice one. And then I just kept throwing that around a little bit. Caught this little pickerel. All of a sudden the line just went flying. And this little toothy critter was there, and he just, as you can see, the weight jumping around. The little fish are the worst with your drop shot. So I wasn't gonna put him in the video, but I figured, you know what, every fish isn't a monster or a really good one. So I'll show you some of the smaller guys too here and there. So just a little pickerel on the robo worm drop shot. If I could, and it figures a little fish like that. He had the line, because he jumped around so much. The tag end of the drop shot was completely wrapped around him. So it took a while to get him undone. But there he is. You can see that little toothy critter there. It's still slimy if they're small. And then at this point of the day, I believe this is when I switched to the robo worm Ned, and that was killer. That was the way to go, to get off the bank, get anywhere from like 5 to 10 feet. The lake is not deep. I would say the average depth is 6 or 7 feet, but I did find some 12, 13 foot spots. But just kind of getting out away from the shoreline into that, like I said, 5 to 10 foot range, and dragging that Ned around. That's that robo worm Ned. I think it's the Aaron Martin's green pumpkin red flake. I'm pretty sure that was the color. And it was good. It was good. Caught a lot of nice bass on it, as you'll see here. And that was the first one. He was a good one. You can see that Ned right there in his snout. That's the Wicked Weights tungsten Ned, 1/5 of an ounce. It's not deep water. I don't need a super heavy Ned. It was a nice one. And that was the start of the last couple hours of really, you can see I'm pulled off. That's that camp over there. And I just pulled off and started throwing that net around, and it was great. Now, maybe I would have caught him too. Oh, that guy got off. I did show you the one who came flying up to the surface and jumped off. That was another nice largie. He came off the Ned. Now, I mean, if I kept throwing the drop shot, I might have caught him that way too. But, they were definitely eating the Ned. So I think maybe they might have been feeding off the bottom a little more. This fish was not camera ready. He bit on the other side of the boat, so you'll have to wait till I get him in the net, and I'll show him to you. But another good one. I don't know what the biggest fish in the lake is, but there's certainly a lot in that 3-pound class, so I'm sure there's got to be some bigger ones. But another healthy bass on the Ned. as you can see. And there's that roboworm Ned right there. As usual, I have to do a voiceover. The wind always kind of ruins the sound, so I always do the voiceover. But there's that fish again. Figured I'd show him to you quick before I throw him back. Sometimes I do forget to show the fish to the camera, so I'm trying to be better at doing that. But as you can see, I'm away from the bank. I'm literally out in the middle of the lake, just throwing that net around. Every now and then you'd feel a rock, you'd feel some weeds. Just dragging it along the bottom, nice and slow. And it was a pretty consistent bite. That last, probably from, I'd say, 12:31ish till about 2:33 when I decided to head home. And I'm just throwing it on my, it's an Enigma rod there, 8-pound fluorocarbon, Sunline fluorocarbon. It's one of my Fluger reels. But there's that Ned again. There he is, another nice fish. Another nice fish. A lot of them were that size, that chunky 3-pound size. I didn't weigh any of them, And this is a couple, I was kind of heading back towards the other side of the lake. There's a couple smaller, fish I just threw in quick. Some of those, 12 to 14 inches on the Ned. The sun is out, it was getting a little warmer. It was later in the day. But you can see they're all eating that Ned. There was a lot of those, I don't have all of them that I showed on camera. But, you're getting bit, so it's fun. It's fun. And this was like literally the next cast. I think this one was even a smaller one. But it was, obviously, as you guys can see from the footage, it was a good day. It's always fun to go to a new lake and try it out. It's always fun to go to, and especially when it's a good day, when you have a good day fishing, that makes it even more fun. But there's a little guy. I don't even know if he's a 12-incher. But there's that Ned again. There's that Ned. Now, I just kind of switched over to the regular Ned just to try it out, and it was so good I didn't go back to the tube. I probably could have caught him on that too if I dragged that around the bottom. But next time I go there, I'll start off doing that. At least the day I was there, there is a lot of nice shoreline cover on the lake, but there wasn't really much on it, maybe because of the cold night. I'm sure in a regular day, if it was warm, there'd be some fish on that shallow cover. This is a little guy. And of course, the littlest fish of the day, or one of the smallest fish of the day, I have to go and get the pliers to get the hook out because, the little fish are the biggest pain in the neck to try to get off the Ned head. But I'll give you a close-up view of them, trying to make them look bigger in a second here. But you guys get to see the lake. It's pretty much just a round lake. A lot of that 5 to 8 foot depth. That one side of the lake, I found some 12, 13. But there's that's how you make a little fish look big. I'll get them really close to the camera. But that was one of my dinks of that day. And this might be, I don't know if this is the last fish of the day, but another decent one. So, just throwing the Ned around, dragging it on the bottom, feeling the weeds, feeling the rocks. It wasn't a completely flat bottom, which was nice. So you always had something that, your bait could run into, something that might hold fish. And it was a good day, obviously. It was a good day. That roboworm Ned has really been great for me. I'm glad I kind of got that out of the the basement here and back in use. But that's it, guys. So obviously a great day on the water. And any questions on any of the baits, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.